Hello guys and welcome to the channel of Absolute Quality. Today we are doing a 25-hour review of a game. I'm going to start doing a bunch of 25-hour reviews, maybe not a bunch right away, but you know, every now and again when I play a game for a very long time, I'll go ahead and put a 25-hour review because I don't believe that you can possibly know a game until you've played at least a lot of it. So we're going to do a 25-hour review of No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky is a massive game full of millions of planets, systems, plants, animals, and resources. A game ahead of its time because when it came out, it initially was bare, and exploration was the only goal. Fast forward 2.5 years and Hello Games has released 6 individual content packages and patches for free to anyone who has bought the game already. I purchased this game in 2016 for the PS4, hoping and wanting this game to be so good. I stayed up all night on a school night during my senior year to record my first 15 minutes of gameplay to put out on my channel. My initial impression was so good, and I loved it, but 15 hours later, I was bored and just warping through systems without even checking the planets, just so I could reach the center. I never made it, to be honest. I didn't want to. The potential for such a great game in my eyes were missed, and I put down the game for years before I heard about the update patch called Next. It brought the game to the Xbox, and it got me wondering if the game was different. I looked up their website and I saw the 4 patches before, and my jaw kind of dropped. I had no idea Hello Games would continue to mold the game into what it is today. I had no idea. In my mind, No Man's Sky was a flop of what could have been, but when I returned, it had been made into what I was hoping for. Now, I play this game every day and I enjoy it so much. It's such a good game now in my opinion, and to prove it to you, watching this video right now, welcome to No Man's Sky. The best space game out right now. I suppose where we can start is the planets. Initially, these planets were small in variety, and the animals and plants were somewhat disappointing. The trailer promised giant lush worlds with animals of all sizes and shapes. Instead, what we got was a bunch of angry crabs in caves and little jumping potatoes of all different designs. Not a giant creature in sight. The worlds were interesting and harsh, but were fun until I left into space to see a lot of reskinned planets that basically resembled each other in too many ways. The water was boring and uneventful, and the game just felt kind of bland. Looking at it now, though, it has come a long way since then. The worlds were updated with visions, and now the planets are lush, the animals have been upgraded, including massive animals that honestly terrify me, tons of new types of planets that have been added with buildable glitches for your bases, and they even added salvageable technology and bones on certain planets so you can feel like a treasure hunter. The planets actually feel alive. It feels like each new planet has something new to discover. The patch's Foundation and Pathfinder brought new elements to the game in the form of base building and exploration. It finally added the bases that I was so desperately wanted, and it gave us vehicles to use to explore planets faster. Building my own base was something I wanted to do the minute I picked the game out, and now that I can do that, it makes it so much more enjoyable to stay on the world. Pathfinder also brought new game modes like permadeath, so when you die, it's all gone, kind of like the Minecraft mode or something like that, and it makes resources also harder to come by. Now you've probably been thinking, why did he mention water earlier? Well, the update Abyss brought the underwater scene to life. This is something I have experienced very rarely as of yet because I was exploring everything on land and space. I don't have much input about it right now, but I do know that you can build bases underwater, mine valuable resources, and have a submarine. The plant life is way more prominent, and the underwater creatures appear much more frequently. I have not yet to get into that, but I plan on doing like a 50-hour review for this game, so there's still a lot to come for me. Prior to the update Atlas Rising, the game's storyline was very bare. After the update, the entire story was reworked to operate much better, and mission tasks were added to the space stations, so not only do you have to follow the main quest, you can do your own quest as well for monetary or technological gain. From what I can tell so far, I have seen very interesting things, and I am currently on my way to completing the Atlas Seed quest line. So far so good. With all the mission updates, I very much enjoy them. Another big update was the Next update. The update that made me delve into the game again and become one with space. This update included multiplayer, which was a huge step from the previous version of being only able to see little blips of people, and then a much bigger improvement than the not ever finding anyone ever when the game first launched. The game is now accessible to friends, and that makes it makes the game just so much better. I don't know how to explain it. Just space is super big, but it is way better with friends. This update also added freighters and frigates. Space is so much better with freighters and frigates now in the game. Freighters jump in constantly with giant white lights, and now space battles are also very interesting because if you're trying to take the space pirate role, you may have to fight a battleship frigate that might shoot you down. I don't know. It makes it way more interesting. The big thing that is you can actually have a freighter, a giant space armada. Literally, you can have up to 30 frigates with that freighter. So you literally can have a giant space armada that basically follows you everywhere. All you have to do is spawn them into your system and they're there. They just shoot right in. But the kicker is that you can actually build a base on the freighter. So no more do you have to have a base on the ground. You can just say, I don't want a base on the ground. I'll just have this giant ship that basically is my base, and I'll just be a wanderer, It's actually really, really cool, and it honestly makes space seem a lot more full because every system has multiple space armadas. There's just so much more to do now. There's so much more to look at rather than just looking at planets. You see all these people jumping in, and then, if you're a pirate or something, you can go attack them and take their stuff. It's a really, really cool concept, and I love it. Overall, I am thoroughly enjoying this game because of the developers' decision to stick with it and evolve the game into what it actually could be. The last point I want to make about this game is about its performance. First of all, this game is so damn big that I'm surprised it even runs on my Xbox One, to be totally honest with you. I have the first one when it first came out, like the first year Xbox, and it runs pretty good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there are obviously some lag spikes here and there, but it does run pretty good. I don't expect it to run 60 FPS because obviously that's basically impossible because I'm capped at 30, but there definitely are a couple issues when I'm playing with my Xbox One. So one of the main problems is that when I'm exploring the terrain with a vehicle, say I'm exploring with a Nomad, things start to get really laggy. It doesn't really quite give me a very clear picture as I'm driving. It's kind of stutters, and then when I try to jump out, it's even a bigger stutter. And then there happens to be one piece where the land doesn't load correctly, and so I hop out, and then I actually fall through the world into this ginormous cave. And this is without mining anything. Like, I don't terrain mine. I literally fall through the planet. But then, I try to get back out. I try to get back out of this ginormous cave that I've been in, and I fly up to a certain point. It just shoots me right back up on land. And I'm like, how did I even get down there in the first place? That was my big old question. So there are some instances where it kind of sucks, and there are some issues with that, but I do realize that my machine may not be able to handle No Man's Sky as well as a PC with a graphics card and a good processor. Otherwise, I really don't have any issues elsewhere. Space doesn't really give me any problems, and it might be a little bit of a slowdown when I enter planets just because the planet is loading on my Xbox, so I really don't care about that because I'm going in anyways. It just kind of slows it down a little bit. It's not too bad though. So for my 25-hour review, I am going to give it a 9 out of 10. Basically because I wish there was more ship and player customization. There are terminals to customize yourself, and I love those. I like that, but I just wish there was like a few more presets and or maybe some individual things that could make me look a little bit more unique. I know that the community events also added in helmets and stuff, but I'd like a couple more things maybe that are just kind of normal and common that you just get. For ships, you basically have to buy what you want it to look like. So it kind of sucks trying to find a cool ship that you can afford. I spent probably a good 30 minutes looking for an A-class fighter that didn't have too many slots so it wouldn't cost 30 million units. The one I ended up getting is pretty cool and I like it, but I'm just saying I wish there were systems that had like these spaceship shows or something. So they'd have like this giant garage with spaceship shows, and they'd have these brand new spaceships, and you could go there and you could look around, you could buy ships all in one place. So it could be easier to find something you want, and you could also get an option to look at other ships before going back to that purchase, because I know if you are playing in like a space station or you're at a trader base on a planet, those ships aren't there for very long. So if you second guess yourself, you may end up losing the ship that you honestly wanted to buy. So I mean, honestly, I'm just kind of thinking, what if they added an expansion where we could get like space shows with a whole bunch of different ships that we could just buy there and off the market and wouldn't have to worry about like trying to bind it. But I don't know. whatever. It's just something I'm thinking about. I don't know. That's just all I'm saying. Yeah, I am enjoying this game, and I can't wait till I get to like 50 hours or 100 hours of playtime, so I can see exactly what kind of creations and progress I get to next. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you would like to see more No Man's Sky content. I'm kind of hooked. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.